Good afternoon. Today is Wednesday, January 24th, 2024. It's 4:30 PM, and this is the Cable Communication Advisory Board meeting. Our first item is roll call. We do have a quorum, so we'll move on to number 2. And we have a new member of our board, Christina Kester. Did I say that correct?
You did. Thank you.
Welcome to the board. Glad you're here. Any little background you want to give us?
Sure. I've lived in New Ulm nearly my whole life. Used to work for the Chamber of Commerce.
Oh, that's right. I think I've seen you.
Yes.
Sure. Okay.
Used to work for the Chamber. Been involved at State Street Theater, the Grand downtown. So, live here in town with my husband. He teaches at Cathedral. We have 4 kids. So
Wow, 4 kids.
we love New Ulm. Great community.
Great. Well, welcome.
Thank you.
Our next item up on number 3 is that we have to elect annual officers. So we need a chair, a vice chair, and a secretary. And I will open it up for any motions for a chair.
I can take chair unless I can do vice chair if you want to do chair for one more year, and then I'll take chair after that.
It's up to you.
I'll stick with vice chair.
Do the vice.
Yeah.
Then you'll have to do a motion for,
Yep, I can do that. I'll make the motion because I don't think are we not going to do secretary then?
we can leave one open if we
leave
want
it
to.
open at this
But
point?
she's
Do
we
not
have
here
to?
as well.
Okay, yeah. I mean, we can maybe leave that until the next time or decide if we don't want to.
That'd probably
Have
be
a
most
secretary.
fair to leave it open.
Let's do that.
Okay. I'll offer up the motion to elect board member Les Schultz as chair and board member myself, Seth Visser, as vice chair, leaving the secretary position open at this point.
Second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for that, and rules require that I continue to ask for any other motions for a chair. Any other motions for chair? Hearing none, that closes. Any other motions for vice chair? Any other motions for vice chair? Hearing none, that closes, and I'll entertain a vote. All in favor for myself as chair for this current year and Seth for vice chair, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, moving on to number 4, the minutes. 4.1, the minutes from the Cable Communication Advisory Board meeting held back in July. Everybody have a chance to take a look at that? If we have, I'd entertain a motion to approve those. And even if you weren't here, you can offer a motion because you read them.
Can we say so moved or?
Just offer a motion to approve the minutes.
I move to approve the minutes.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I will second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. Any other comments or questions? If not, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Let's move on to the good stuff. Number 5, the new CAT report for periods all the way from July to December, last 6 months. Mr. Sherman.
All right, so before you have the reports, just our typical monthly report listing each of the programs that we recorded within that month. The only kind of unique thing is that we did hire 2 new part-time technicians, Rob Lawson and Andre Napper-Weiss. And so they've been with us for about
Okay. Any
5 months, yeah.
Anything out of the ordinary in the last 6 months?
In terms of the reports, nothing unique or special or out of the ordinary. You can see some variation in terms of our income from DVD sales. We did have 1 month where we sold more, but other than that, nothing.
Yeah, that was quite a spike. compared to
Every once in a
norm.
while,
Yeah.
one group will want something,
really?
and
Okay.
they'll have everyone from their organization
Sure.
buy a copy. So
Out of the blue one day, I happened to hit the new CAT channel, and the county board was on. Mm-hmm. And very clear, very good, but I know there was talk a while back about there was people that were presenting, and it was really good information, and you could hear them fairly good, but the concern, you couldn't see the presenters. You just see the back of their head. And I know we've talked about that before, and I think if I remember right, you said that would probably be county expense? Or is that something that we should be looking at?
I mean, it's something we could, potentially collaborate on. That's something I would probably have to look more into to find the, details of what we would be able to provide, an outside organization like that. It is something we were, like with the school board, they paid for all of their equipment. We just kind of helped guide them, and we help assist them with using it. But in terms of like paying for it, that was something that they had done.
Maybe then we did approach the county about paying for that, and they said no, but that was a while ago. I wonder if we should approach them again. Because really, the cost can't be that much, is it? I mean, wouldn't it just be similar to having a camera like that your guy in the back of the room can toggle back and forth? Is that?
It would probably add up a lot more quickly than you'd think, just because, I mean, these types of cameras are part of a larger system. And, this system in this room was probably about $100,000.
So this system, I believe, was about $75,000.
75, yeah.
Yeah. So if you're talking about maybe just two cameras in that space.
Yeah.
You wanna introduce
One
yourself?
camera,
Oh, sorry.
have your-
I'm Mike McMahon, production technician. So just ballpark figure, two cameras, small switching system. You're talking probably in the range of $20,000 to $25,000 for a project like that. And that's based on numbers from 5 years ago. It could have come down a lot. But the problem we're talking about with something like this system here is that these are PTZ cameras, meaning they're remotely controlled, which does introduce a slightly elevated cost. You're talking about each one of these cameras is probably $2,500 to $5,000. And the device in the back that controls them was about 10.
Well, here, you can shoot all kinds of different angles, but.
Oh, yeah, no, this is a great system. We
Right,
love it.
but I mean,
It's
the
one of the
county,
best
we
ones
would
we've
just
seen,
want
yeah.
the one.
Well, we need at least two, just based on the way that they're set up in there, because we won't have to have one facing back and one facing the chambers. And then, if we're doing that, you'd probably be no additional cost to add something to capture their presentation system there as well, too. But, again, you're talking, I'm just ballparking it $25,000.
Really.
Minimum.
At minimum. That's like low-end system over there.
But I wonder if they'd be more receptive now that we've been around long enough, and they got to hear it from their constituents, you would think.
Yeah, I'm not sure. And it would be worth just having a talk with, is it
Sam Hansen?
And seeing, what his, thoughts are on the topic and where they're at with it.
And who knows, when we go to NAB, maybe we'll see something that's a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get to that.
Is there any cheaper alternative?
I mean,
I
not
mean, you can
really.
always do stuff for cheap, but it's just a matter of whether it's cost
Yeah, you
effective.
don't want to go too cheap either, because then it's going to look cheap. And
Yeah,
then-
Yeah.
and not really fulfill this,
And that room, unfortunately, is so small.
It's a very tight room.
And you
Yeah.
there's not enough room to really build a box. Because sometimes they do fill up with certain things. So, okay, I was just curious. And what I did here was really good, and it was very clear, and I was, hadn't seen a county board meeting in quite a while, but then I remembered that, they were presenting on something with daycare, and it was really interesting, but I couldn't see who the presenters were.
Yeah.
And it was just like the back of their head, and
It's a
okay,
tricky
let's,
space, but something I'll put
why don't you
some
make
thought
that
into.
conversation happen
Yeah.
in the next 3 months, or before we meet again, and
We can do
see
that.
what the county's response is, and maybe if nothing else, we can look at budgeting it for 25, if we need to. Say, government stuff, city council meetings, I think they need to be recorded well and done well for
sure.
for longevity. Okay. Absolutely. Anybody else have any questions or comments on the new CAT activities?
I'll offer up the motion to accept the new cat activities report.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second that?
Okay, we have a motion and a second to accept the report. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to 5.2, new CAT programming update. Mr. Sherman.
All right. So, before you have a list of all the different programs that we regularly produce, which is say January 2024 there at the top. But we do have, don't forget to read the instructions. This is our board game instructional game show. That's a partnership with the New Ulm Public Library. And we've produced 3 new episodes of that.
We were doing that with the gaming place before, weren't
We
we?
were, but they went out of business.
Yep,
So
okay, but it's still continuing, which
we
is
were
good.
continuing the show. Yep, the library is finding ways to supply the board games in other ways. So that's always a fun one to do, and one we definitely will continue to work on. Living United, we've had 4 new episodes with Living United. This is a show we do with the United Way, typically a monthly program. Something Artsy, we've done a monthly episode with them since every month since our last meeting. Each episode of Something Artsy typically has about like 7 interviews, so that usually takes a few hours each episode to record, and covers a lot of different community-focused arts-related topics. The New Ulm Forum, we did 6 new episodes of the forum covering topics such as the Community Against Domestic Abuse, the United Way, city energy programs, the citywide deer hunt, 100 Women Who Care, and an episode with both of the participants of the Hansio Sister Cities Exchange program. We've done a number of the library presentations that are held in the studio meeting space. Some highlights include a lot of concerts. The Gangsta Grass concert was a lot of fun. The Siama and Dallas Congo concerts. We did stories for the season in December, and that was 8 separate readings regarding snowfall, all found from different novels or newspaper prints. And that's a collaboration with the library and State Street. We've been invited to record all of the Historical Society presentations, usually held at the Annex across the streets, covering a number of topics. Let's see. We had done a few more concerts in the park, rounding out their season there at the end of the summer. We finished our episode of How New Ulm Works, and we highlighted Turner Hall in this episode. It's like a 30-minute program. We get a full tour of the location, and they talk with us about the different jobs that are available in the community within their facility.
Well, what
That's
do we-
a show we definitely want to film more. Mike, do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So it's I want to highlight some of the different like employment opportunities in town, some of the larger employers, and take tours of their facilities, see what kind of jobs people do there. So far, we've only been able to do the police department, the public utilities department, and the Turner Hall. But we'd love to have any other businesses that are large to medium employers give us, a tour. Terry Sweeney hosted 2 of them, and then we had John from the planning department host the police department one because Terry was unavailable.
I would bet Newell Medical Center Toby might be interested in something
That
like
would be great.
That would be great. Yeah, I'd really love to do something like that.
I can't speak for him, but I just,
Yeah, we'll look into it.
Yeah, we've emailed a few places and haven't gotten tremendous responses from some of the places but we're always looking for larger employers that are maybe.
yeah. Well, and the new manager of 3M is pretty active in the community and been pretty out there too.
How new?
Much
Because
more
it
involved.
was about maybe 9 months ago I emailed them and I didn't get a response. So is he newer than that?
I think so.
Okay, maybe I'll
try
shoot
again.
another email over there.
All right. Some other recordings we've gotten include we did the bid to farewell to George's Ballroom presentation that they had done earlier in the year. Sister Cities celebration program. We recorded the Miss New Ulm Firefighters dance. That was the first time we had done that. One of the Flying Dutchman hill climbs. And just a general video on Oktoberfest. And then we have our submitted programs, and then kind of highlighted within there, one of our newer series that we have submitted is from the Minnesota DNR. They have a weekly program called Minnesota Outdoor Skills and Stewardship Series, where they do, it's always kind of like via Skype, but it's a PowerPoint presentation on a different topic related to DNR, usually something animals or recreation, and that's a fun program to be able to share. And at the bottom here, this is something new that I wanted to include. Within since our last meeting, we've got 2 YouTube channels, one for the city and one for new cat content. On our NewCat channel, we had 9,000 views, 731 hours of watch time. We added 44 subscribers, and we're currently at 598 total subscribers. And then on the City of New Ulm government page, we had 3.2 thousand views, 360 hours of watch time, 2 new subscribers, and 262 total.
Were they previously two separate channels, or is?
I've always kept it that way.
Okay.
Just to kind of keep, people looking for city meetings or official city stuff. That's where they can
Makes
find
sense.
any of the board meetings and commissions are all held there. Versus NewCat might include community-focused stuff or things we produce outside of.
Got it.
So in the
scope.
future, can we start graphing that and looking at seeing how that does comparing
Oh,
up
yeah.
or down?
The-
That'd be kind of neat to.
YouTube
see
does a
that.
lot of analytics on their
Yeah.
pages there, so I can
Yeah.
bring some of that in and show you what in the future.
And this fall, we're going to have, elections and debates?
It'll be a big year for all of the election debates. We always record all of those. And usually they're held here or in the studio, so it's pretty
Right.
easy for us to do. It's where our 2 studios are located. So
Right. Okay. Then this morning in the EDA meeting, they were talking about a group that want to come in and do a special, I think it's on our pod model daycare center.
okay,
So that might be interesting too, and see how that, they want to, it's a company that wants to come in and, no, I'm sorry, let me take that back. They want to come in and do a story about New Ulm. And they did you hear about this? I think
they did
Heather-
contact me, and so they let me know that they're working on this program. They're doing a show on Sleepy Eye and then one on
Yes. yeah.
New Ulm, and I believe they're
North
from out of
Dakota?
North Dakota, and they've asked us if we could help provide B-roll content, if there's anything we can share with them, because they'll be filming in the winter, so
Sure.
they want to kind of show the full scope of what New Ulm can be. So we might be working with them a little bit there, and then for sure we'll be airing the program when they have it available.
Yeah, because they were talking about that this morning, that we would definitely want to have it on your channel.
Yep.
So, and speaking of the pod metal, that's probably another category. That's such a unique concept that's so new to Minnesota. There's only maybe 2 other pod models in Minnesota, and they're in the metro. We're like the only rural one. And this is again where we have the 4 daycares, it's independent daycares inside of one building. And the last one opens now February 1st, so then all 4 will be up and running. Would be kind of interesting to do a story. We know that Senator Amy Klobuchar is very interested in seeing, is that something we could duplicate nationwide? So we're going to get some buzz on that
Yeah.
whole concept, I think, coming up this spring. So
I think that's a great idea for doing.
maybe the next story or something.
That might be a good one. It's only a handful of. That might be a good one just because I think Terry would enjoy doing it.
Yeah,
There's that, and we could always we have the forum show that we do with the league, and
Yeah.
they always talk about community topics like that. I think that would be a great
maybe
episode
get
for
Heather
that show
and then maybe
too.
1 or 2 of the providers to come in and talk or go there or whatever. So, because I went to the open house and it was like, the rooms were smaller than I thought. That was just my opinion, but they were fine with the size that they were. But it was kind of a cool operation. They all got their own thing, and they share hallways and they share playgrounds, but they can't be in there together. And so it's all kind of they all got, because they're independent.
Yeah.
It's not a center. They're independent providers, and even the licensed people were like, "Oh, what? You're a facility." No, we're not.
It's a little tricky, just because we usually try to avoid filming children.
Right. Yep.
But I'm sure there would be a way to do it without doing that.
Yeah, the open house was at 5:00 when there was 1 kid left, I think, in the building.
Oh, sure.
So that wasn't too bad.
kind of showing the
Okay.
space.
Any other programming update?
Typically now, maybe we could talk about any program ideas that you would like for us, based on what we've been working on, or anything that.
I just mentioned mine, but new person?
I don't know. I got to think about it.
Okay, that's fine.
Great job.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's even more than I catch it every now and then, but
great.
got a lot going on.
Yeah.
It's outstanding.
I know State Street's redoing everything there, so maybe just an update or some kind of a little walkthrough, so
Yeah,
That did
can
come to
see.
mind for your How New Ulm Works.
Yeah.
That could be an interesting one.
that would be fun to get in there and see all the cool changes. You know, I've seen photos and
I do know
it's
that-
impressive just from the photos. So
What it's spelled, Lykkes. They're gonna be doing a students, center, and that's supposed to be coming in May. So that's a soft opening they're thinking. That might be something to kind of focus on too, to get teens and, or sorry, they're looking for 5th through, 14-year-olds, what is
Middle-
that?
middle school,
Middle
kinda.
school and a little older to come in and utilize the space, because that's where they found they had the biggest gap of needing activities.
oh sure,
So that's something
letting people
that-
know that's an
yeah,
option.
and they're trying to get a lot more input from the community to see what they want, so kind of might be a good way to incorporate some other community things.
Sure, I like that.
Anything else? If not, entertain a motion to accept the programming update for NewCat from July through December.
I move.
And we have a second?
I'll second.
Motion and a second to approve that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on, number 6.1, old business regarding Comcast customer complaints. Do you want to bring Christina up to date with a 2-minute update, or you want me to?
I'll let you do it.
Okay. Several years ago, our former city attorney looked at the lease that we have with Comcast, and in the lease, it was a 5-year lease, 7-year lease, something like that, it said that they had to maintain an open office, and then they closed. And our former city attorney thought that that might be an actionable item because they're not open. Then it was right at that time, he left. The city attorney left, and we got a new city attorney, and we wanted them to get up to speed on all the other things. And then finally, we're like, hey, will you look at this issue? And he took a deep dive into it. And the way the wording was, and I'm going to paraphrase here to some extent, that if they did close, they had to set up assistance, or I'm not probably using the right words, but so it was not an actionable item. But we did have the Comcast folks came to our meeting, and they were wonderful. They just explained, a lot of it was, we didn't know. And the word wasn't out there that they'll actually mail you prepaid boxes to mail your stuff back into, and Hy-Vee takes those, will take payments, and I don't remember some of the other stuff that was brought up, and she actually passed out her business card, which I have in my wallet, that if you ever have a complaint about, or you can't get through to Comcast, to call this person. And I did 2 weeks ago when I bought a new television and I couldn't get my remote to work. And my neighbors are telling me, your remote is old, you need to trade it in and get a new one. And I'm like, I'm gonna have to go all the way up to Minnetonka, which is, I think, the nearest office. And so I got that card. So I called her and she answered, and she said, I don't know the answer, but I'll figure it out. And sure enough, she had a tech person call me, and there was a way for me to get it updated on my remote, but I didn't know obviously how to do that. And I had the problem fixed in about 5 minutes, so it worked. It was nice. But again, our discussion was they need to get the word out to more people that we didn't know. As a board, we didn't know. So how would we expect the general public to know? And so they said they were going to send out more information. Do we know if they have?
So they have sent me a video,
Okay,
and it's a short video about a minute or so long,
okay,
basically detailing all the information you just provided,
Okay.
telling people where they can make payments, where they can drop off equipment to be replaced, a phone number to call if they need assistance. It might not be that same phone number from the card, but
right.
and I would like to reach out to them to get the video kind of in just like picture format, so we can use that on
Yeah.
the website and put that information right there on our city page, so that way people can have access to that information there as well.
Is it a
Yeah,
video
it's
too,
a-
or is it just a?
It's just
video?
something I would play. I don't have it on YouTube.
Okay. I was just wondering if there could be a link to it somehow.
I think if we get the information on just like images, I think that might work better to put on the website, and that might be a little, because other than that, it doesn't really need to be a video, I would say. So that's what I'm hoping to kind of get that in that form. So
And speaking of that contract, that must be coming up.
We're getting close. It would be 2027 would
Oh,
be.
so we had a little bit of time. Yeah. Okay. Okay, any other questions or comments about that, or is there any other updates you had with that?
I've got no other updates.
All right. Let me see if is that an actionable item or just admission? Oh, I'd offer or entertain a motion to accept the update.
I will offer up the motion to accept the update for the Comcast cable.
Okay. Motion, do I have a second?
I second that.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on, new business, 7.1, National Association of Broadcasters Conference in Las Vegas. Is it always in Las Vegas?
It is always in Las Vegas. The size of it, I think it needs to be in Las
Probably.
Vegas just because the convention center is just kind of beyond anything else.
So explain to our Christina a little bit about what this is about.
Sure. So this is a conference that we attended in last time, it was 2018, I want to say.
Been a while.
So it has been a while since we've attended. This is the National Association of Broadcasters Conference, or otherwise known as NAB, held in Las Vegas yearly in April. This year it goes from the 13th, I think, to the 17th, but I put the 15th as those are the days we plan on attending. It is a giant show floor of just every different digital technology that you can think of related to video, as well as an opportunity for classes that they hold throughout the conference center. So you can sign up for classes and then go out to the show floor. Last time we attended, we were able to look into a lot of the equipment that you see in this room today. And so we're looking to attend again to just be aware of what the upcoming trends, equipment, technology, and how we can utilize that best to fit within the future of NewCat and the city's technology needs.
And I think that's right when we were moving to high definition.
That was our high definition transition. So it was, a really important part of the process was, getting to
Right.
see a lot of that different equipment in person.
I think a lot of these national conferences, you get to see what's coming. You get to see maybe we're not going to get it this year, maybe even next year, but you know what's coming. You know what the trend is. And I think that's critical to good budgeting and good programming. And so I'm a strong supportive person of attending conferences like this. So your intent, according to this RBA, is to send 2 people?
Yes, we had 2 people go last time. I think that was a good number. It's a big city and it's a big show floor, so it's nice to be able to go together, just number 1 for safety, and number 2 for, being able to split up on the show floor. One person can go look at, this kind of stuff, and then another person can spread out, because in reality, even if we were just walking around all day for the 3 days that we'll be walking, we probably will not see everything, so.
And the workshops, I would assume you'd split up in.
Correct, yep, we'll each attend 3 different types of workshops.
And where is this in Vegas?
It's at the
Convention
Las
Center?
Vegas Convention Center.
Oh, okay. And if I remember right, when you went last time, you came back and gave us a presentation. on
Presentation,
what
yep,
you
and we
learned.
can put that together again.
Yeah,
if-
that was,
if-
I remember that. That was
That'd be
good.
It's you and Mike that go?
It would be, yep.
Why not the new guy?
They would. It is from April 13th through the 15th.
And the cost is, the conference pass, $3,500, travel, lodging, $5,500.
Oh, no, 3,500 including everything. I didn't break it down by item here. Our
Oh, I see. I was
Our
reading
yearly
55.
budget is 5,500, so.
That's actually pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
So, and that was just based off of numbers when I was researching, a few weeks
Okay.
ago. So the flight and the hotel might vary a little bit, but it should be within that ballpark.
close.
Is that per person
That'll be together.
together?
Yeah, that's reasonable.
Wow.
Okay, I would entertain a motion to approve the attendance at the 2024 NAB conference.
I move to approve their attendance at the Las Vegas NAB
Okay.
conference.
And we have a second.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion points? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, item number 8 is just general board member comments about anything and everything. Or nothing.
No, I'm excited to hear about the conference. I know that I haven't been on the board since you guys have been to one, so the technology is always changing and improving, so it'll be fun to see how you can make it applicable in our future years, you know.
And maybe they could have one of us tag along, you know, just to supervise or,
We take Vicky, I think,
Definitely could benefit from going to something like that. If you're willing to pay, I would be their third
I'm sure a lot of us
person,
might say that.
I do remember that the last time they came back and presented, I mean, they were almost glowing
Yeah.
because there were so many things
Yep.
and so many new pieces to technology that they were excited. And so, yeah, I am willing, but you know.
Just put it on the record then. Any other comments? Hearing none, we'll move on, and I will adjourn this meeting at 5:01. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.